And just like that, it's Monday. What is it today? Monday the 16th. Hi, everybody. I'm Russ Kane. Welcome to the Midday Show. Without further ado, let's bring on the Monday and Wednesday king of the airways, my dear chum, Mr. Neil Longie Long.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Show.
Good afternoon to you. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was fine, thank you. Yes, what did I do over the weekend?
Well, I don't know.
Neither do I, so it must have been quite a good one. Oh, no, I opened a shop because I'm so showbiz. A dear friend of mine.
You are the Tony Blackburn of the 1960s.
I am. I think my sense is still there sometimes. Yeah, it was just to explain. A dear friend of mine who's actually guested and presented on the show, Emily K. Owen. She's a comedian and presenter and radio girl. And she is involved with the charity called Parents in Need, or PIN. And what PIN does is they facilitate the education of children with special needs, because she has a special needs son. They recently did a quiz night. They do it annually, and they raised £19,000 for. And Jim Carter from Downtown Abbey was there. Yeah, and that's just one school hall full of people.
Sorry,
it's not bad.
Stop! They raised 19 grand on a quiz night. Holy moly!
And I was DJing it. And I did the music round as well, and then they've opened a shop.
I'm staggered. I can't get over 19 grand on a quiz night.
North Sheen in southwest London, and sorry, they were up my head. Steve Mann, the actor, was there to officially open it and cut the ribbon with blunt scissors, which was quite funny.
Who was there?
And that was it. So that's what I did Saturday, and it was an absolute pleasure to be involved. And it's a great charity, Parents in Need. You can look it up if you like.
Were there like the good days of Tony Blackburn?
And then Saturday night, Saturday night, I went out and we got that weird delay thing this morning. And Saturday night, I went out and got pissed.
Yay! I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a bit. Give me a sec. I'm going to change the camera down. I'm going to change the camera from high definition to I'm going to put low definition. Well, that hasn't worked. Oh, there we go. All right, let's try that. That's low definition. We do that. It might speed things up. It might take up less bandwidth.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, and I just want to cover this off, and they say, "Oh, you and Neil talk over each other. You don't let each other finish it." It's not. It's actually not us. There is because there is a time difference between where I am and where Neil is, about 8 hours time difference. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. It's a tech thing. Over.
It is, and sometimes I can't hear when Russ has finished. It's a very small delay. Obviously, it's not an 8-hour delay. We're both in London, but the delay it's just enough to make it sound like we're talking over each other. So we don't do it on purpose, because we're both professional. If we were both here in person, we would, unless we're arguing about something, in which case we might. But
we might just start screaming and shouting at each other. I had a bit of a poignant Saturday.
Go on.
Oh, we have my two pals, Rachel Arto and Colin Vates, have a very favourite restaurant called St. Moritz, which is in Wardour Street in Soho. And it's lovely. It's our special occasion restaurant run by a guy called Sweetie, and he's known by everybody as Sweetie. And for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, we kept saying, we've got to go there. We've got to go there and support Sweetie. We haven't been for a little bit. Haven't been for a few months. And he's a great guy. He's a Soho institution. And we got the news last week. He died. Wasn't even ill. Didn't feel too good. He walked himself to hospital. Lovely, lovely man. Walked himself to hospital. Felt a bit off. Never came out. Going to be a post-mortem and everything like that. So this Saturday, Ray, Colin, and myself thought, as a tribute to Sweetie, who is Swiss, by the way, we must go and have lunch there. And we did, and we toasted him, and I hope it's one of those things, Neil, you'll understand. It's an absolute institution, but it's very old school. It's very, very old school in Wardour Street. It's been there since the 70s. And we're also hoping it won't go, because when these lovely little old places go, they're replaced by some shit which is completely, forgettable and changes every 6 months and pop-up nonsense. And it's been there since the 70s. It's just a wonderful place. And if you want to go and have a blowout on Swiss food, best fondues you'll ever have, ever, and loads of other things. It's on Wardour Street. It's called St. Moritz. Look at this. Let's say hello to some of our chums. You'd like to read these out, I know. That's Dave Sleet saying hello. And then we go to Spain, where Chrissy Richards is there.
All right. Mason Brown, hello. Introduced my son to Your Language TV show. He loves it. Françoise is more beautiful than my memory recalls. I can live with watching this show again. Yeah, I get myself in all kinds of saying this because it would never be allowed today. But I did think it's funny at the time. I thought,
was funny. It was very funny. It wasn't rude about the people from other.
I even remember the theme tune. Yeah, well, people would say it's.
They say everything. They say, and we must say hello again.
Well, it did stereotype. It did play fairly heavily on stereotypes.
That was the gag. I mean, that was the gag, wasn't it? Really, that was just what made it. That's what made it kind of funny. Yeah, it did. But God, we can't beat ourselves up about everything. Did anybody watch the Oscars? I refused. I absolutely had no interest, because I have no interest in the movies that they're showing and coming out. I don't want to hear their woke fest crap, so I'm just not interested. What have we got here? What does it say? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm currently tuned in while relaxing with my dog Jackson in our local park in Barnet. For those who know, we're just up the road from the orange tree. Yeah. I was stressed for a few weeks. It's nice to be relaxing with my dog. Absolutely. I wish I could, but that's never going to happen again. Well done, Paul.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Ian, the humorist corner.
Do you think you'll get another dog? Is it too soon?
In the fullness of time, maybe, but not at the moment. My life is too all over the place, and it needs to be much more settled and centered, because a dog takes over everything. So, not for the moment. Not for the moment. I will do it. In the fullness of time, maybe, but who knows? But not right now. Not right now. And I'd have to think I'm going to have to think where what the future holds, where I want to finally be, what kind of dog I want. Because if I was in the country, I'd have a bloody great dog. I'd have a Rottweiler, or I would have a Rottweiler or something. And if I'm in London, in town, I'd have something very small. It's tiny dog, tiny dog. But there is a.
Have you got any plans for the show today?
No, of course not. Why? Have you got something you'd like to discuss? Please, God, yes. It's because we've got record numbers watching.
I made a promise, and we that the connection is terrible today. It sounds like afternoon, Russ and Neil, Mark in Bletchley checking in. It's been a good weekend. Russ, New Mordor is slow today and sometimes freezes. Normal then. Me too, Russ. even the time is right. I'll have him one day. I'll have him one day. One of these days, Ian in Serbia, and I'll have you. So, idea. I have an idea.
Go on. Good.
I promised.
Great.
I promised Dave that I would play his stand-up, and I promised and I overran a bit on Wednesday with our brilliant guest Scarlett Black doing the Amy Wineglass experience. So I only had time to play a couple of minutes, and I promised I'd play it in full this Wednesday. But we could play it today if you're open to that. Yes, we should have done that.
I'm open to that. I have to warn. Sure. I have to warn everybody. There's a lot of bad language in it. So if you're over 21, if you're of the faint of heart, don't. But I'm going to tell you that there is bad language in it. And just for a little bit of background, this is the first time Dave Sleet, who's a good pal, Just remember to bring treats. I got rid of all the treats, Paul. Sorry. It was too triggering, matey. They've all gone. Dave Sleep, who's in the psychotherapeutic community, right, has never done stand-up, ever. And he went to some sort of stand-up school and was, that's a whole different conversation that Neil and I can talk about.
There's many courses you can go on. There are schools of stand-up. Yes, there is.
Yeah. And he said to me, well, I'm doing stand-up. What? It's incredibly brave. It's the most dangerous thing you can do apart from abseiling down the gherkin. Yeah, hey. So this was his very first.
Is that a euphemism? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's precise. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. It's the influence of Françoise Pascal. She makes everything a little bit cheeky.
A little bit saucy.
Anywho, all right.
Now, not only is it his first time doing stand-up, he was on first. And even if you're a professional, going on first is not easy. You need to be pretty high energy. If you've got a good MC and they've warmed the room up, it's better. But sometimes you can have a brilliant MC and the room is cold, and sometimes the MC hasn't warmed them up and you literally do go on cold.
Your bloke was great. Your fella, when you kindly asked me to top the bill, which was very sweet of you. And
you're welcome. Russell Arathun, he's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, he was very good. Very good.
He is one of the best on the circuit. I'll also shout out Adam Morrison-Jones, who's a colleague of mine from the Kent comedy gang, and he's absolutely brilliant as well. AMJ, brilliant. They're my two favourites.
Anyway, I'm over to you, Neil Longie Long.
All right. Well, I present, as promised, Dave Sleep. His first stand-up experience. Let's enjoy it.
How are we doing, guys? You having a good night so far? I drew the short straw, so come out first. Keep it going. So, let me ask, has anybody here hate their name? No, I mean really hate it. Yeah? What's your name? Reg. Yeah, I can see why. All right. So, my parents called me Dave. Right? Anybody watch Only Fools and Horses? Yeah. I spent the first 14 years of my life being called Rodney. Fucking hate Dave. Jesus Christ. Now, would you believe me if I told you I was from Cambridge? Yeah? Where the fuck are you lot from? Cambridge. I've been trying to get rid of that stigma for years. My parents had such high hopes. You know, Cambridge, go to university, might be a bit like Hugh Laurie, you know, smart, talented, but they called me Dave. Got no fucking chance, did I? So they decided that because I wasn't going to go to university, I had to be punished. So they moved me. South London. Anyone else from south of the river? Yeah, whereabouts? Forest Hill. Oh, look. Beautiful place. It's even named after something relatively nice. No, my parents moved me to Bermondsey. Even a craze didn't want to go to Bermondsey, for God's sake. You know, they left it to Charlie Richardson. Any history buffs in the room? That's a Gangland reference for you. Hold on to it. Now, when I say that Bermondsey is not what it used to be, I grew up, Bermondsey had leather factory, it had a biscuit factory, it had a jam factory, smelt like shit. Now, it's got sourdough factories, coffee shops, and a makeup factory. It smells exactly the same, only now pints are £7. I ain't going back. But before I came on, I got some really good news. And this week, my baby sister, bless her, she has given birth to twins. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, we are really relieved. At least two of her kids are going to have to. A lot of love in the room.
I'm just going to rewind that a little bit. It jumped out there, so I'm just going to rewind that a little bit.
Only now pints are £7. I ain't going back. But before I came on, I got some really good news, and I think I should share it, because there's a lot of love in the room. Now, my sister, this week, my baby sister, bless her, she has given birth to twins. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, we are really relieved. At least 2 of her kids are going to have the same dad. Yeah, you like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fucking true story as well. Nah, I didn't get to serve. I'm one of the very few that got a head injury that was so severe it repositioned my brain inside my skull. It's harsh, isn't it? Yeah. 0 degrees. My brain sits at 0 degrees inside my skull. Any officers in the room? Yeah. Well, if they're confused about 0 degrees, it's not about the temperature, it's about longitude and latitude. Bless them, they'd already be lost, wouldn't they? Mention longitude and latitude. Fuck it, they haven't got a clue what a map is, let alone how to read it. Oh, bless them. Anyone here live with a veteran? Yeah? Can I seriously, genuinely ask you a question, right? Have you noticed that all veterans are like opportunist piss takers? Have you noticed? You know, they can take the piss out of anything, can't they? You know, it's what I love about the community, right? Because we don't get pissed off. We don't get offended. That's the word they use, isn't it? Offended. Don't get offended. I mean, veterans don't just watch Mock the Week, they're living it. Nah. I've got to say, being brought up in Bermondsey was tough. And it was the ultimate survival experience. Right? You didn't end up in special forces, you ended up with special needs. Anyone else struggle at school? Yeah? No? I think the lie detector test has just worked. Now, I was constantly being told that I would never write more than 2 sides of A4 paper when I was at school. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Didn't bother me. Just carried on writing on A5. Fuck it. Bad teachers is bad teachers, right? Now, before I go, Bermondsey boys have got a bit of a reputation, haven't we? Chancers, piss takers. Fit in with fucking veterans, don't we? So, there is a disclaimer. Being from Bermondsey, I have to do this every time I speak in public. If there is anybody from the benefits agency hiding in the audience, I'm not getting paid for tonight. And I'll see the eyes. The tip jar on the bar isn't mine either, all right? Now, what do you think's worse than being called Dave?
Being ginger.
Now, see, you took the words out of my mouth. I see. Right, in society, right, it's right. We can all take the mickey out of gingers, right? It's fair game, right? Now, in the military, we've got our own version of gingers, right? We call them the RAF regiment. I got told. Thank you very much, Dad. Now, the thing with the RAF... For those that don't know, the RAF regiment are the MOD's cheerleaders. You'll find them at festivals throwing rifles around to music. with lights and everything. Yeah, right, yeah. It's like wannabe supermodels at the Super Bowl throwing pom-poms around. Bless them. I mean, for everyone else, in every other branch, you'll hear this. Thank you for your service. For the RAF, thank you for your entertainment. My name's Dave Sleet. Have a good night.
Well done. I have to say, Dave, and I know you're watching now, for a first time,
unbelievable,
and on first, that's absolutely super. Well done.
Unbelievable. I got to tell you, if you've never done stand-up, if you can write and deliver 5 minutes of really good material, that's tough. That's tough. And if you've never done it and you think, 5 minutes, that's nothing. Believe me, it feels like 5 years if it goes wrong. And for him to do that as a first timer is extraordinary. Really good. Really, really good.
Really,
Bravo.
really good for a first time.
Yeah. It's interesting because he doesn't talk like that.
No.
He doesn't talk like that at all in real life. I find it fascinating that people talk down and they become very glottal and drop their T's. And Dave Sleet doesn't talk like that in real life. And in real life, he doesn't swear either. I've known him for many, many years. Dave never swears. And it's a thing. I think it's part nerves and part.
But it is part nerves. It's also quite nice to be inappropriate in a safe way sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we're so sort of sanitized now as a society, and you've got to be so careful what you say. To be able to say naughty things, is actually quite cathartic and therapeutic. And a lot of the time, it's what people are thinking anyway.
It is. That, by the way, was a special audience. You might be wondering, why did Dave do so much about the military? It was to relate. Yeah, Kim, you're right. It was to relate to the audience. It was a military audience. It was a fun. If I've got it wrong, Dave, forgive me. But it was a fundraiser for the military, basically for veterans. So that was aimed squarely at that demographic, which makes perfect sense, because if that was a general audience, it would be much too niche. A lot of those jokes would simply not land, but they did because the audience totally got it. May I just say that the Bermondsey Biscuit Factory, I used to go to a lot because it's now a huge rehearsal place. Huge. It's fantastic. And I know Bermondsey like the back of my hand, and I love it. I got to be honest with you.
Do you? I like Dave's line about it smells the same, but now pint's £7.
Yes,
I thought that was a good one.
Well,
that was a really good one. Yeah, and I love the one. My favourite line in it was, at least both the kids are going to have the same father.
That is a fabulous
I didn't see
line.
that. Do you know what I thought was coming there? I've seen people do this on Facebook. It's been used quite a few times. But what I thought was coming there, and forgive me, Dave, for thinking you go down that route, but I thought my sister's given birth. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm finally a dad. I thought that's that's where I thought you were. I've heard that one done before, and it's there was this thing on Facebook. This guy was on the tube, and he stood up. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to announce I got this most amazing news. I'm going to be a father. I'm so happy for me and my sister are so happy," or something like that.
Dave's joke, it's interesting. As Dave is saying, only because we know him well, I've known him for many years, is the stage persona was tough to get comfortable with. Now, I'm wondering this, Dave. Did you feel you had to, because when Neil's on stage, Neil is Neil. It doesn't actually change. And that makes it even funnier because it's Neil, right? I don't inherently change. It's a slightly exaggerated version of myself, but I don't become somebody else. My voice is the same. I just wondered if you wanted to create that persona to appear more hardcore, and so that it's acting rather than Dave Sleet going up there. It's Dave Sleet Mark II. I'm just interested from a sort of psychological viewpoint why you did it.
Interesting.
Don't you think? Because that's not Dave Sleet. That's a version of Dave Sleet, but it's not the guy I sit and have coffee or lunch with, who is charming, one of the most articulate people I've ever met. The brain like a planet, Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different aspects to people, isn't it?
Of course. No, it is. But you do it. You do it.
It's great to. They say life begins outside of our comfort zone, and I'll tell you what, doing 5 minutes stand-up comedy to any audience will take you out of your comfort zone.
But what was that? 10 minutes or so? That was
about 8. That was about 8.
Yeah, it's a huge ask, and honestly, if you've never done anything, and I can't stress this enough, that if you think 5 minutes, I could do that, and Neil will, I know, support me on this. There is the world of difference from the person who's funny by the water cooler in the office, or the bloke in the pub, telling some gag, and getting up in front of an audience and doing a routine, even for 5 minutes.
But you know the story of Paul Whitehouse? You know the Paul Whitehouse story?
No, I don't. No.
I think Harry Enfield was commissioned to do a TV series, and they wanted more funny people. So they said to Harry Enfield to look for collaborators. Who's the funniest person you know? And he went, the bloke in the pub, who happened to be Paul Whitehouse.
No.
Who was a bloke in the pub, and Paul Whitehouse was born, so to speak. The Paul Whitehouse we know.
Paul Whitehouse is beyond talented. I don't know the man at all. I think he's far more talented than Harry Enfield. I think he's extraordinary. His voices, his characters are amazing. I mean, he just becomes those people. Don't you think?
Yeah.
He disappears. I mean, Paul Whitehouse, you always think, it's Harry Enfield being whoever it might be. But with Paul Whitehouse, the Paul Whitehouse just is submerged totally into whoever he's portraying.
Dave, I've got something rather nice to say to you. I didn't do it immediately because I wanted to check with my business partner that it was okay. And I have. My business partner at the Clap Comedy. So myself and my business partner, Emily Kate Owen, we'd like to offer you a 5-minute newbie spot at one of our semi-pro gigs.
There you go.
So you can come and do 5 minutes. We do spots for the newbies, for the up and comers, and the last time we did that, it worked really, really well. So if you'd like to come and do 5 minutes, you're very welcome. We'll stick you on the next bill if you like. And
Dave, if you think that's like he's trying to fill space because he can't do it, I had a chat with Neil last week. He's booked solid till October.
December.
Solid. To when?
December now. Well, actually, we've got all the headliners up to December.
Wow.
But we are booked solid till October. But
yeah, there you go. So, Dave, it's a very interesting offer, and not one that comes, I should imagine, casually.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. There we go. I think that's a yes. I'm going to put that up. That looks like a yes to me. Oh my God! Wow! Thank you so much. Woo.
Send me a picture of yourself, Dave. I'll stick you on the flyer.
No, he just wants a picture of you. He's not going to put it on the flyer. It's a complete lie. He just wants a picture.
What, you think I'm going to put it on my bedroom ceiling because I'm a
weirdo? I do.
All right, you caught me. Sorry.
All right.
I have to get what I can nowadays.
You're a weird bloke. That's why I like you. I got to tell you, Neil's going to get very upset with me, but I'm just going to speak the truth. I thought that Dave's routine was... Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I've started, so I'm going to finish now. I thought it was infinitely funnier than a lot of the acts that were on the other week at the Bell Inn. I'm sorry to say that. I just thought it was cleverer. He didn't resort to just being vulgar for the sake of being vulgar. I got a real problem with that. I know it's a style, and I'm much older. They're younger than my kids, right? I get it.
Are you passing indictments on my songs about what I do with Hoovers, Russ?
No, I love that. That makes me crack up.
Well, that's pretty vulgar. It doesn't get much more vulgar than that.
All right. Do you want to go into it? I'll go. By the way, we have got record-breaking numbers today. I don't know what's going on, but thank you. Wherever you're watching all over the world, I know we've got people in America, Spain and France and all over the UK and Scotland. Bless you for that. Right. Hey, Robert Van Buren was there. It was lovely to meet him. It's so nice to meet people. Where are you?
Yeah, thanks for coming to the gig, Robert. It was nice to see you.
Here we are. Let's put this up, and then I want to discuss this, see what people think. Would you like to read it, Neil? Have you got it up on your screen?
And I can comment on it as well. I prefer stand-ups that keep swearing to a minimum and pick the perfect and most effective swearing delivery. I agree, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Talking to an audience is massive. As a singer with many big bands, I had to talk to some big audiences like the Litchfield Garrick before I sang to them. On that particular concert, goodness, my mother died 3 hours.
Oh, God, Gavin.
Now that's what I would call Dr. Theatre.
That's Dr. Theatre.
It's Dr. Theatre.
And it's fine. Oh, Gavin, Jesus.
Does anyone want me to explain Dr. Theatre, what it means? Stick a yes on the chat window if you do. Otherwise, I won't mansplain it. But yeah.
I once had a fascinating conversation with my hero, Bob Monkhouse, all about this. And I struggled with it. And can I explain? I want to explain this.
Can I just comment on the last comment though?
Yes, please go ahead. Please do.
Is that all right?
Yes, it's all right. Of course, absolutely.
Pop that back up.
Yeah. I got it. Hang on.
There we go. Yeah. Pick the most. Yes. What I found was because I did stand up in the 90s as well, and what I found was a lot of female comics would swear and use the C-bomb quite a lot, and it was shock factor.
Yeah.
So the reasons for that, I think, are many. Number one, there was, and to a degree still is, quite a lot of sexism on the scene back there. I mean, I did hear a story of a booker saying, no, we won't have a female on this bill. We had one last month.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And thank God it has changed, because I know, and I've had the privilege to work with some fantastically talented and funny females. Shout out Sarah Dungworth, Molly Mole, Siobhan Dodd. Oh, God, so many. Zuzanna Spakarova, loads. But, and sorry if I haven't mentioned you there if you're watching, but there was this kind of sexism, so I think they had to sort of fight harder to get noticed. Also, it can be nerves, and also, and this counts for males as well, sometimes it's shock factor. Before you've really refined your niche, sometimes you use shock factor. You drop the F-bomb a lot just to shock, just to get a reaction. Then you start to see it through more your own lens as you refine it and redefine it, and then it gets to the point where Gavin quite rightly says it's not just using it gratuitously, but using it at the right time
as punctuation.
You know, there is a time when fuck would be funnier than oh golly gosh, because you don't want to swear. It
is a punctuation. It pushes the line.
And there's times when it's just gratuitous, but what you're talking about there, Gavin, and you're quite correct, but you're talking about a more advanced stage, a more nuanced, advanced stage.
I don't really just like bodily, maybe it's just me, but I don't enjoy the bodily. When you do it, it's funny because it's so silly, like with the Henry Hoover and all that. They're funny, but the songs are really clever. You showcased, you showcased 2 new songs the other week. You stop. Yeah, we got it. Thank you. And they were both very clever and very funny. And there's wit, but just going on about, bodily functions the whole time, that's not wit. And you won't shock people. People are pretty unshockable. So just try and come up with something that's actually funny. Anyway, back to my Bob Monkhouse. We've talked about it before, but Gavin was saying his mum had just died like 3 hours before, and he went on stage. And I had about a 25-minute conversation with Bob Monkhouse, just the two of us. He was and still remains my comedy hero. And I'd heard him a few weeks prior to me meeting him. There was a wonderful series on BBC Radio 4 called In the Psychiatrist's Chair with Professor Anthony Clare, who was a psychiatrist. And Bob Monkhouse was the special guest. And they were talking about compartmentalization and how Bob Monkhouse had felt very bad initially about, say, being at a funeral, and then a very few hours later being on stage and making everybody laugh, right? And I said, I feel very guilty about that terrible things could be happening in my personal life, and I would go and then perform. And, you know,
isn't that therapeutic though? Why would you feel guilty about that? Isn't that a healthy thing?
Because we just do.
If terrible things are going on.
I'll just finish the point, and then
Sorry.
Then please pour in. So my point was, should I feel guilty that I'm able to do that? Does it make you a sociopath or a psychopath? And Bob said, it's the difference between professionals and amateurs. That as a professional, you compartmentalize. So the funeral, or whatever it might have been in Gavin's case, the loss of his mum, you compartmentalize it and you put it to one side. And then the performer comes out, and then you go back to being.
Well, I was working on the radio all the way through COVID, so I had to compartmentalize that. Plus, my mum was dying at the time. It was an awful time, and doing radio and doing virtual parties where I just pissed around. It really helped me, and that didn't make me a sociopath. It kept me and a lot of other people sane. It helped me, and it served a lot of other people. How can that possibly be wrong? You know, running a comedy room is a kind of service. If people are having a really hard time, they can come along and they can laugh and they can forget their problems.
Yes.
That's actually a really good service to be able to do for people.
Well, I agree. I'm talking about it on a absolute human personal level. Human personal level. Are you completely...
Why would you think that would make you a sociopath? I don't follow that thinking.
Because does it mean that you're without feeling? I think is the bottom line.
Oh, Russ.
No. I'm thrilled that you can just think that's ridiculous, but it says more about me that I had this conversation totally with Bob.
You're one of the most sensitive and feeling people that I know.
Well, that's my problem, isn't it?
How you can say that you're without, or even suggest to yourself, it's that inner critic again. It's never got anything good to say, has it?
No, it hasn't. No, it's absolutely
Tell
not.
it to piss off.
I tried. Believe me, you have no idea how hard I try. George Carlin, Aza's watching from northeastern United States, New York State, not New York City, with that lunatic in charge, but New York State, which is completely different.
I like George Carlin.
George Carlin, one of the absolute... I rarely use the word genius, but his work is magnificent. And he was so prescient. He was way ahead of its time with his work.
Hang on, what does prescient mean? Mansplain that to me.
He understood, he could see things before everybody else could see that they were happening. So his view on government, on religion and everything, he was ahead of the curve, that he could see what was happening before everybody else cottoned onto, oh my God.
Oh, his stuff on religion. It's, I mean, I can be quite spiritual at times, but I agree with everything he said on religion.
Completely. That routine he does about religion, I sit there and I've watched it many, many times.
Yeah.
Because watching a master at work,
where he's pointing out the absolute contradictions in it.
And you think, this is so true. So is it laugh out loud funny? Yeah, there's nuggets of the laugh out loud, absolutely hilarious because he builds up to it. But most of it, you're sitting there nodding, going, man, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. If you haven't seen George Carlin do, well, yeah, some people. This is interesting. Some people can. What have we got? Some people can deliver swearing better than others. Yeah, but it's Dave's right. The master of the human condition. The human condition. It was he was extraordinary. I watched a 2-part sort of 3-hour documentary, maybe it was a 4-hour documentary just on George Carlin. And why I admire him even more was this: he was a right in the middle family entertainer. Along, like you'd go on the Dean Martin show and stuff like that with the slicked hair and an absolute family major entertainment. And he just decided one day he didn't want to do it anymore. That wasn't where his heart lay. His heart lay in trying to, and it cost him everything. And then he became huge again. But it cost him absolutely everything at the time. And that's brave.
Gavin says it was a tough gig, talking about what we were talking about, we alluded to earlier, but the comedy and improvisation with the band was the best we ever did. When we did the Sutton Coldfield Town Hall with a packed crowd, the comedy was almost as good, and we would never even consider swearing. Yeah. There is such a thing as clean comedy. It has its place. Tim Vine makes my tummy hurt because we laugh so much. He never swears. Jerry Seinfeld doesn't swear.
Jerry Seinfeld never swears at all. You know? My belief is I walk a path to whatever awaits at death, probably some sod who's placing codes. Silly man. Gavin, I got a question for you, if I may. You did the gig. Mum's just gone. Your emotions are off the chart, obviously. How did you feel after the gig? Because during the gig, you're in the moment, or as Neil beautifully puts it, and I've been really listening to him recently. I know you don't think I ever do. Flow state. When you explain flow state, because obviously I'm writing my new show at the moment, and for May the 5th at Crazy Cox at 6:30. That's Crazy Cox, COQS, Crazy Cox, 6:30 in the West End. And it's like an hour and a half show. And I'm writing loads of new stuff. And I try to get into what Neil has described as flow state. So if I sit at my desk where I am now and try to think of new stuff, nothing. Tumbleweed. When I'm doing other things, which is why I always have my notebook and fountain pen with me, I'm doing other stuff, and Neil will get this. And I've learned it from Neil. It just comes. It just comes. I don't know where from. Does that make sense? Flow state.
Flow state.
Gavin. No. As weird as this may sound, that was my last ever gig. I can't face it anymore. And that was in 2011.
Flow state used to be...
interesting. Hang on, before we do that, I'm just fascinated. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Gavin, why did you stop? I understand you said you can't face it. What? I get that. I really get that. So hard to get on that horse again. So hard. Anyway, flow state. Sorry. Go on. I apologize.
It's described as an optimal state of consciousness. It's more than just concentrating or paying attention. It's a unique mental state of effortless engagement. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
I wouldn't know how to say that. That's great.
It's effortless effort. It's a bit like you're on the river in a boat and it's a powerful current. You steer the boat, but you don't control the momentum. The momentum takes you, but you steer it. You're doing it, but you're not doing it. It used to be considered a religious experience. It was written about in an old book as a religious experience. It was with the sort of idea as God as the old man on the cloud that puts blessings or lightning bolts, as they used to believe.
Back to George Carlin.
But in this particular case, he was pleased with you, so it was considered a blessing. And then science came along and went, nah. So they started studying it, and they looked at. There's a guy called Stephen Kotler who's done a lot of work on flow state, and a psychologist called Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi, and it is, and they started studying the science of it and breaking down, scientifically, like putting the components and working out how it worked. And they did a lot of study from the field of extreme sports, because when you're climbing a sheer rock face, 300 feet without any safety net, or any kind of safety equipment, so if you fall, that's it. You need to be in the present moment, and you need to be focused on what you're doing. And what they were talking about, something called the voice. It was, you could call it intuition, and it was just like next step, next step, next step, next step. So you're not trying to get to a destination, you're guiding the boat one step at a time, and you get instant feedback in the moment of what works and what doesn't work, and you can pivot on the fly. And when I got in flow state, when I was doing stand-up comedy, it was like jokes I hadn't thought of for years. I could almost see them coming in the distance in the theatre of my mind. I could see them coming, and they come and they flow through and they go, and the next lot will come. And the correlating emotion that goes with it is a state of ecstasy. It's almost spiritual. It feels incredible. If the world was in flow state, there'd be no more wars. That'd be impossible. It's quite extraordinary. So science came along and sort of debunked the religious side of it, but it's kind of come full circle because it is considered a spiritual thing now, because it is like you're one with the universe at the time. It really does feel that way. It's incredible.
it's I understand why it gets mixed with religion, because I don't find it a spiritual experience at all. But my podcast partner, Mark Collin, who I was chatting to this morning, but if you believe in any sort of spirituality, or you believe in tapping into other power, then flow state is pretty much as close you're going to get to it, because you think,
the power's within us.
Yeah, well, the power is within you, but you're tapping into something. You're tapping,
or getting out your own way.
Well, that's very clever. But you're opening yourself up to wherever it's coming from, because where it comes from, I can only speak personally, but you think, where the hell did that go? I like that, but I have no idea where it came from at all.
Higher mind, intuition, universe.
Well, there you go. That's the point.
Fairies at the bottom of the garden. Does it matter?
That's the point I'm making. It comes from possibly somewhere. Do I think it comes from God? No, of course I don't. But I do think we are much more than just this body that we carry around. Let's see what the Claridge has to say. He owns Claridge's. That's why his name's Paul Claridge. He keeps it very low key. I like comedians like Jack D. Yeah, I loved him. John Bishop. No, I'm not mad about him. Peter Kay was very funny. I think anyway. Milton Jones. I find Milton Jones and Tim Vine hilarious. Other people don't bear it. I love it. I think it's so clever, and how they remember that. I don't know. Jasper Carrott. He was genius. He was absolutely brilliant. Will Hay. No. Max Miller. Yes. Arthur Askey. No. Round the Horn. The best ever gave me my love of comedy to start with. Round the Horn.
Didn't Arthur ask you to say hello, playmates? Wasn't that?
Hello, playmates. Oh, what a wonderful thing to be a busy little bee.
I don't remember that at all.
Arthur Askey was just huge. Arthur Askey, Ted Ray, all that. They were huge. Did I find him funny? No, I didn't. I'm probably way too young. The Goon Show, can't bear it. I know everybody loves it. I couldn't bear it. I just don't find it funny at all. I've tried and tried because I think it's rude. This sounds silly. If you like an art form, even if it's not your cup of tea, it behooves you, in all seriousness, to look at it and say, can I learn something from this? Why is this so beloved? What are they doing that I could not copy, but learn from? Because life, if you want to improve, you've got to learn all the time. So I look at all these things and I go, no, I just find that self-indulgent and silly. Of course it was silly, but I'm just, even though I'm old, I'm just too young. I've gonads too young to have been in the middle of the Goon Show, whereas Round the Horn, oh my God, I loved it.
See, I don't remember that.
No, you wouldn't, because you're just that little bit too young. Oh, Mark loved the Goon Show. I know the Goon Show was very, very funny. And there's, bits of it that kind of made me laugh. Arthur Haynes, up to here in Muck and Bullets. Up to here in Muck and Bullets, mate. Arthur Haynes. Corrie Nan, who was Arthur Haynes' straight man? Come on. Who was Arthur Haynes' straight man? Come on. If you loved Arthur Haynes, come on, Corrie. Who was Arthur Haynes' straight man? I'll give you time. If you don't know, you have to say, I don't know. Arthur Haynes, completely forgotten now. A huge television star. Huge when I was growing up. Thora Hird was in it. No, Nicholas Parsons. The great Nicholas Parsons.
I heard that she used to defrost cows that were frozen. Thora Hird. Thanks, I'm here all day. Oh, come on, Russ, it's a terrible joke. Don't laugh. Don't encourage me.
I'm sorry. I've never heard that.
Terrible.
Not Sid. No, Sid James was with Tony Hancock until they all fell out. Till they fell out.
See, Sid James is in all that sort of tits and bums humour, but apparently, so rumour had it, he was a real prude in real life.
He was a fantastic actor. Fabulous. I loved Sid James. So it wasn't Sid James. Hey, other jokes are available, Neil. Oh,
God, I started it off now. I knew it was a mistake.
Kimmy Lashmar, she was listening. Thora Hird. Oh, she played Mrs. Thursday. Was that a sitcom? Was she like a cleaning? Was she a cleaning lady? Am I going mad? She was like a char or something. Mrs. Thursday. I can't remember. Oh, Nicola. Oh, this is genius. Look what Mark's got. This is way. You won't get any of this.
No,
Nicholas
I don't.
Parsons. Right. When I was
my earliest memory of Nicholas Parsons was Sale of the Century.
From Norwich.
My mum thought he was condescending.
I find that with Alexander Armstrong, when I'm watching Pointless, I go, maybe you're not, but I just think you're so. Yes, lovely to have you with us, Neil.
It's Neil, and both him and Osmond are really good comedians. I'd like to see it be a bit funnier, but that's me.
I don't find Richard Osmond funny at all.
Oh, do you not? I do.
No, I don't find him. I don't get it. And I don't like his books. I'm the only person in the world. He's making millions and millions and millions, and I wish.
You must be the only person in the world that doesn't like his books.
Well, I don't. I didn't like the television. I didn't like the television adaptation either. Right, here we go. You've heard of Jerry and Sylvia Anderson, right? Oh, you are kidding me. You child. No. Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, Supercar, UFO. No?
I know Thunderbirds. Yes, me lady. I remember that.
There you go. I was the celebrant at his funeral, David Graham. Anyway, right. Jerry and Sylvia Anderson, whose daughter Dee Anderson is a chum, they created all these puppet shows, starting with Supercar, Fireball XL5, Stingray, going on to the fantastic Thunderbirds, UFO, and all these things, right? Captain Scarlet, blah, 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 blah. And one of the very first things they did, not the first, but one of the first, was Four Feather Falls. I was at primary school, and I would run through the roads of Southgate to get home to watch Four Feather Falls. And the hero of Four Feather Falls, who had magic guns, he'd raise his hands, and the guns would swivel up and shoot in their holsters. When you're a little kid, this was fantastic. And it was a sheriff called Tex Tucker. And Tex Tucker was played by Nicholas Parsons. It's marvelous. Oh. So that was that. Now, what is this? What have we got going? Would you like to read this?
Gavin Davis, I'd be interested in your thoughts about my comedy show called The Spanner and Spoon Show that I create with the friend Tom Clark Hill, old voice of Tony the Tiger. They're great. An amazing voice actor, yeah. We produced about 4 complete 4-part shows. Crazy stuff. I am Professor Spoon and many other voices.
Fab. Well, what is our thoughts? You should come on the show, chat about it. Come on the show.
Yeah, we should get you on, Gavin. Want to be a guest?
You can see. Now, Ian has said this. Oh my God. UFO. I loved Gabriella Drake. Who was Gabriella Drake's brother?
Gabrielle, I don't know. You're a bit old for me, you lot. You're old fuddy duddies. I'm too young and youthful for this.
I never liked Neil Long. I tolerate him, but I don't like him. Gabrielle Drake's
Oh, come
brother.
on. I remember Arthur Askey said, hello, playmates. I'm not that.
How the hell did you pull that out of the bag?
I don't know. Childhood memory.
Gabriella Drake's brother was called Nick Drake. He was an amazing singer-songwriter.
Nothing to do with Charlie Drake.
No, be careful because I'm not going to a happy place. Just hang on a minute. Gabrielle Drake's brother was Nick Drake, and I had his albums, Brighter Later and another one, and he ended his own life in his early 20s. Yeah, I know. Gabrielle Drake, absolutely stunningly gorgeous, and still with us. Never too funny for Gabrielle Drake. She was. I'm allowed to say this, steaming hot, and that's all there is to be said about it. What do we got here? Oh, Max Miller. Do you know what? I got 2 books, right? The Red Bull and the. My only Max Miller got. I like the girls that do. I like the girls who don't. Max Miller was fantastic. There we go. Now we're getting into it. UFO. Aisha Broff. Lovely. Yeah. Aisha. But they were all great. It was terrific. It was all those shows. And coming back to what you were saying, do you remember, Neil, about 15 minutes ago, you were saying that there is still sexism on the comedy circuit, and you had,
yes,
no, we're not having, what did you say?
I'd like to think it's moving in the right direction.
Tell me the thing that you said. Well,
in my opinion,
we don't want a female comic. We had one on last month. Was that what?
That was something I heard, yeah, which is ridiculous. And in my second iteration of stand-up comedy, I've been lucky enough to meet and work with some fantastically funny females. And it's just not. It's just
Victoria Wood, one of the greatest comic geniuses ever to come out of this
on the
country.
bottom with the Woman's Weekly, yes.
The point I was going to make is this. So that's sexism. Jerry and Sylvia Anderson were a partnership. And Dee Anderson, I'm not telling tales out of school, she's been very open about it. She's been on the show. And Dee, their daughter, has been trying her best, quite rightly, to ensure that her mother, Sylvia, gets the credit that she is due. Because she's been sidelined, like she wasn't really there. She was totally there. It was a complete partnership. You know, they got divorced, it ended up badly, blah, 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 blah. These things often happen. But what they did for television, what they did to entertain children, how it just opened up our imaginations, it was just fantastic. Everything they did was ahead of their time and beautifully done and just great. And I am such a fan of both of them and bless them for what they did. It was quite extraordinary. So you never watched Supercar or Thunderbirds? Were you just too old, too young? I guess you were too young.
I did watch Thunderbirds, but I didn't know the names that you associated with it.
Okay. Dawn French and Jennifer. Are they? If I see Dawn French's face now, I have to actually just switch off the television or change channels. But there we go. That's for different reasons. Do you know, I think I saw one of their very first stand-ups. No one had ever heard of them. I'm going back to the very, very early 80s. And there was a charity night somewhere in town. We went to this theatre. And these two girls got up. And they were Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. And they sucked. They were so unfunny. They were so unfunny. And it's fascinating to watch them grow into comedy legends. And Dawn French being a fabulous comedy writer. But when they were just doing straight stand-up, standing in front of a mic, you know, like Morecambe Wise type, it wasn't that much. It was awful.
Well, we all have to find our own.
Well, that's it. That's the thing. That's the journey, isn't it? That's the journey, watching people grow. Whereas Rick Mail walked on, remember, we'd never heard of these people. And Rick Mail walked on and ripped the roof off. He was sensational. Never forgotten that night. It was just brilliant. You've got to film up, haven't you? What are you doing? You're doing something clever.
Well, I thought maybe we could finish the show. We started it with comedy. Maybe we could finish it with a bit.
That would be lovely. That would be absolutely lovely.
Okay. I'll just very quickly tell you about Wednesday. In fact, I'll tell you about that afterwards.
No, tell us now.
No, I'll tell you after. Here's a little cheeky song.
All right, cheeky song. Here we go.
All the clothes are brown, and the hair is grey, I made a mistake, booked a saga holiday, There's something in the air, and it's hard to miss, the scent of chewed up Werther's originals, and just a hint of piss. When I saw the ad, it said singles holiday. So I booked a cruise, and went on my way. But when I arrived, the youngest woman there was a girl called Mabel, with new hips and purple hair. All the clothes were brown, and the hair was grey, but I fell in love, on a saga holiday. On a saga holiday. I'm the only man on board. I'm the man on board.
And they've not had sex for years.
Not had sex for years. And Mabel's hip replacement is so good. Her ankles touch her ears.
I love your songs. I absolutely love your songs.
That's actually the old video for that one. I've got a better video than that, but there we go.
I love them. I think they're great.
I love that line. Her ankles touch her ears. I never get bored with that. I never get bored with that line.
Neither does she. Well, hey, right. Wednesday. What's going on, boy?
Laura Jones, guest on the Midday show, and all will be revealed on Wednesday. You'll be back on Friday.
So that all starts, as you will have gathered, at 12 o'clock noon, hence the name of the show, the Midday Show, with Neil and his special guest, Laura Jones.
Yeah, it's been fun today. Dave, we talk off air about getting you on the next bill. I need a promo photo of you, please.
Yep.
And I've got your phone number. And come and do a guest 5.
Guest 5. Until then, join Neil on Wednesday. Thanks for joining. And from all over the world, thank you for joining. And remember, especially only in the UK, and right in America and the UK, no hurty words.